See, most business owners obsess over funnels, ads, and automation, but they overlook one customer experience tool that gets higher engagement than email and social combined. Guess what it is? It's a physical touch point. In today's episode of Profit with a Plan, we're breaking down why smart brands are bringing direct mail and tangible experiences back into their customer journey, and how it's quietly becoming one of the most profitable retention strategies today. So you'll hear how simple physical elements can deepen digital engagements, increase that lifetime value, and turn your offers into something customers really stick with. Plus, we'll talk through proven frameworks for building experiences that guide your customer to the results you promise without adding more complexity to your business. So if you want your customers to stay longer, buy more, and rave about what you deliver, this episode is for you on how to engineer that intentionally. So tune in and get ready to rethink your entire customer journey. Hey, entrepreneurs, are you working too hard for too little? Well, welcome to Profit with a Plan podcast, where we help you scale smarter, increase profitability, and build a business that's worth more, whether you keep it or sell it. I'm Marcia Riner, business growth strategist and profit booster behind Infinite Profit. I've helped countless entrepreneurs to turn their businesses into highly profitable and sale-ready assets, so they enjoy more income now and a bigger payday later. So join me for practical strategies, expert insights, and proven steps to make your business more profitable, more valuable, and built to last. And today's episode is sponsored by Infinite Profit, where we don't just talk profit, we deliver it. But before we dive in, I've got something special for you. If you're tired of flat revenue or marketing that just doesn't seem to pay off, the new Profit Booster Growth Map might be for you. In just a few minutes, my GPT shows you exactly how you can bring in more qualified clients and plug the profit leaks that are eating your cash. You can get your Profit Booster Growth Map at profitbooster.biz and start turning missed revenue into real money. All right, let's jump into today's episode. Today's guest is someone who has completely redefined what customer experience looks like. Mark Stern is the founder and CEO of Custom Box Agency, the experiential marketing firm that is behind more than 150 high-performing campaigns for 6, 7, and 8-figure brands. He's been recognized by Forbes as the next 1,000 entrepreneurs to watch and is featured in the Wall Street Journal's bestseller, Never Lose an Employee Again. What makes Mark stand out is his ability to take digital offers and turn them into tangible, memorable experiences that increase retention, drive revenue, and keep customers engaged for long after the sale. Mark has also co-founded 57 Hats, which is a gamified tool that helps entrepreneurs to understand the roles they're carrying and learning how to delegate more effectively. He brings strategic, data-driven approach to everything he builds, bringing physical and digital touchpoints to create customer journeys that actually convert, retain, and deliver measurable results. Wow, that was an impressive introduction, Mark. I loved every minute of it because, wow, what does every customer or business owner want? More customers, happy customers, and keeping them longer. You solve all of those problems in one little package, right?
We're having fun. Marcia, thank you for having me, by the way. But
Oh,
I'm excited to
absolutely.
continue the conversation with you. But yeah, we're having so much fun. And it's just powerful when you start to introduce physical in such a heavily digital or AI world.
Exactly. So how'd you figure this one out though? This is a new thing, right? People aren't normally sending stuff, right? Unless it's a tchotchke, right? A cup or a t-shirt or a pen, right? And that's not what you're doing.
It's not, we joke and say that stop sending your customers swag. And people think swag boxes. We joke and say swag means stuff without a goal. There's like a strategic way to use swag. I'm more set on like, have we as entrepreneurs given the tools and resources to our customers or our clients to truly set them up for success and like define success for them? And so where this came from was I was a corporate American junkie for years. I like grew up through the ranks thinking that corporate was the only way, and got my MBA at Duke. Worked for Deloitte Consulting as a road warrior for years, and thought that this is life. And had the wake up to be like, I have no quality of life. I'm always traveling on the road. I need home and stability. And I could feel my body breaking down because literally every week I was living in airplanes and in hotel rooms every single week. And enough was enough. And there was a moment that, like, when I discovered the online space and that there's another way to build and grow a business, and it's more accessible now than ever. I made the pivot, and the hardest part of the pivot, becoming an entrepreneur, was I had a corporate mindset, not an entrepreneurial mindset. And I had to realize that these are two, like the game board looks the same. It's like checkers versus chess. The game board looks the same. The rules are completely different.
Completely different. I
Completely
mean,
different.
wow, if you can really if let's breathe on what that one for just a second because it truly is, and many of us came from that corporate world. But the entrepreneurial world, it's a completely different beast, even though it's packaged and it's got all the wrappings that look like it, but it's not. So I'm glad you brought that out. Thank you.
It's so
Sorry.
true, but here's the thing. Anyone who's making the leap from corporate to entrepreneurship, like I hear people say I'm pushing the reset button. You're never pushing the reset button. You need to learn how to play the new game, and then your competitive edge is all the experiences that you had from before. And so when I think of like I fell flat on my face as an entrepreneur trying to figure out the game, but once I gave
We all
myself
did.
permission to learn, then everything I did in the world before just truly was my competitive edge. But to answer your question, where this came out of is it was really out of necessity. I kept on buying products from other business owners, entrepreneurs, joining coaching programs, attending virtual events. And every time I was so overwhelmed because it was just a lot of content and videos pumping at me. And I just said, I just wish people would send me the tools and resources I need. Because if you assume that, oh, I sent you that PDF, I don't see a lot of people using an editable PDF and saving it to their desktop and referencing it in the same way that you may have if you had a physical workbook in front of you. And so, the thing is we have the tendency as business owners to put obstacles that prevent our people from getting started. So if you tell me I need to print something out, you're assuming I have a printer, it has paper, it has ink, it's hooked up
It
to
has
my
ink.
computer,
It's plugged in.
all these things. It's plugged in, and then you're organized, and you can like get all these papers organized. And if one of those things goes wrong, you're going to be in this mindset of, oh, someday I'll get to it. And it's very different because none of these items are that expensive. And especially if it can increase the chances of getting that conversion or that sale because you're getting people into momentum and they have what they need. It's a no-brainer to just send your people the things that they need to be set up for success. And really, when you do that, not only can you really paint a journey and set them up for success, but you can gamify the whole process in the making. So it feels like a new experience. So there's just so much strategy in terms of how we think about physical complementing digital or virtual or local, that is just so easy and cost effective that people aren't even tapping into.
I love that because you know what? I'm sitting here as you're telling that story going, yeah, I know that the I too am a junkie for these programs and
Yeah.
going in and I was looking at the ones that I had more success with. And they did deliver the goods that helped me move forward, right? It wasn't the blocks. It wasn't the print it out. It was like, yeah, here's the workbook as an example, right? Or here's the things that you need that will help you go forward in it. And I think that's the success that really made that program better than any of the others.
And what's crazy is people are spending 1,000, 2,000, 5,000, $25,000 on these programs,
And you
and
can't
they're
send
getting
them a
anything.
something, right?
And these things can cost as little as, I've had experiences that cost less than $5 or $10 and ones that have cost, I feel like they average out anywhere from 10 to 30. They're not that expensive
Oh, that's amazing.
relative to the impacts of the strategy of how you can use it across acquisition, onboarding and delivery or retention across that customer lifecycle. So many different use cases that you can apply.
You know what? Let's start with those then. I'd love to have because I know the audience is leaning forward right now going, yeah. but maybe they can't put two and two together. So you just rattled off three different case studies on where these could be used, right? The customer acquisition, the customer retention, and what was the
Onboarding and
third one?
delivery.
Pardon me?
Onboarding and
And
delivery.
onboarding and delivery, right? So there's four case studies. Would you help us by going through each one of those and giving us kind of an example of what a physical product that might complement one of your companies that you've worked with?
Totally happy to. So acquisition, if we look at that as a first case study, this is how do people find you to buying your products and services? So this is all the way up to before becoming a client or customer of yours.
Before
Um,
throwing the credit card.
Yeah, before and there's even low ticket products. So I think of low or free. And a perfect example of something that is one of our products that we're testing right now is 57 Hats, the one that I just sent you, Marcia, and it's coming in the mail. But what this started as is the challenge that we faced was there is a staffing agency in our network. And how do we drive more business to get more clients to the staffing agency? And so part of what we looked at is what is one of our frameworks? And everyone listening, I promise you, you have frameworks and things that you do that could turn into a physical experience and be a front end. But we did this as a free plus ship. And the whole premise of this product I'm holding up, it's called 57 Hats. You introduced it in the intro, but it all started with this concept of, as a business owner, do you know how many hats you're wearing in your business? And we
57 literally is the answer that comes out.
And it's crazy because like to like create a product and have people say I'm totally wearing 57 hats in my business, like that is just it's just something that resonates with people. But we just played off cards as a modality to say what would a hat look like for these common roles in these five. We look at five departments: operations, marketing, sales, finance, delivery. Typical roles or departments that you may see in a business organization. But whether you're a brand new business or a more established business, this is a tool that you can in 15 minutes go through and pick out and see the hats that you're wearing, and then we'll take you through an exercise of whether or not you should do that role, delegate it to a member of your team, or delete it. Because we all have roles that we do because it made sense when we got started, but it doesn't make sense anymore. And so the reason this is an acquisition play is we literally introduced this in April via paid traffic, meta ads, Facebook and Instagram ads. And it was free, just pay shipping. Shipping's 19.95. And within day five, the funnel was profitable, which was crazy to say to do cold traffic, not warm leads, and introduce the concept. Part of it is it's a new opportunity being a physical product. And part of it is people just identify with the simple messaging around, do you really know how many hats you're wearing? And oh, by the way, for every hat, we actually give you in the online portal because we love to marry physical with digital for each of these roles, the roles and responsibilities, KPIs you can consider, job descriptions you can track. So we're giving this wealth of knowledge because the goal is if we can bring awareness when you go through this experience in 15 minutes and see the hats that you should do, delegate, or delete, we then take you through an exercise around, can you delegate this to a teammate? Can you delegate this to AI? Or is this something that you need to hire out? And oh, by the way, you have the online portal to help you. So nurture. And if you need additional help, we have all different products and services to help you place these people. So this is a front end designed to
Love
just
it.
give you value. And the other thing that's really powerful about having a physical product is top of mind. You know, when you play a board game, typically you don't play Monopoly and then throw it out. It's the same thing when you read a book. Typically you don't read a book and throw it out. And so in that sense, we want to take up real estate in your house. So if you provide value and say, go through this now, and oh, by the way, go through it in 6 months, you'll have a whole different experience.
I was just going to say it's a
You're saving.
repeatable event.
That's it. So that is
Wow.
a perfect
Brilliant.
example of acquisition is a way. And we love to play up that concept of let me make it easy to nurture you and build a relationship with us at a low to no cost point. And knowing our numbers, like none of these are that expensive. But it's a like high perceived value, high impact because we're just taking frameworks, things that you're already doing in your business and bringing it to life in a
Wow.
different way.
Brilliant. Brilliant idea. I mean, we could probably do the whole conversation on this game and really
Oh,
dive into it, but I'd love to hear where the other ideas
yeah.
would actually pop up.
I actually have this is a new one that's a client of ours that is in the trauma and healing space
Okay.
that she went through. and lost her husband in their early 50s unexpectedly. And her identity was so built into her relationship with her husband that the healing journey that she went through, she truly embodies this idea of like starting in the cocoon and going through the metamorphosis to becoming the butterfly. And so when you buy her program, one of the things that we do is we'll send you a box. And the box has like the essence of the program. We've gamified her journey. So this is part of saying when you get started with it, everything you need is inside the box. And I'll show you some of the elements here, but we always have a welcome note and a getting started guide that kind of tees you up for the journey ahead. We always have some type of a journey map that is just a one pager saying, as you progress through this program, here
This
are
is
the
what it
different
looks like,
phases.
setting expectations. Nice.
And then part of what we did, I actually think here's the journey map. You can see it here. That her journey map is it's actually a scratch off. And so as they go through, they can scratch off the different pieces because we just want to play off scratch offs as a modality. It's a fun interactive experience. And as you go through the 8 phases of her program, you earn the right to open up a new envelope every time you advance forward. And what's inside each envelope? It's the action card and any supporting resources for that phase. So we're trying to say, if you join a program that feels like it's so out of reach to get the outcome, all I need to do is show you you've advanced from phase one to phase two to phase three. And even just advancing one phase, I know without a shadow of a doubt, you've gone through a transformation. And so this is all part of that experience of the physical and the digital. And then we also built for her a beautiful interactive journal experience that I actually have it right here. So this is showing you that like, and here's the journal that goes with it as well. So all
Very
these things
pretty.
can, oh, like it's so cool to see how this one came to life, but it's all about for onboarding and delivery. One of the biggest problems that we see that business owners do is that they don't have a good onboarding
Oh, they
system.
have terrible onboarding systems. Oh my goodness. Okay, so
And
we're starting tomorrow,
yeah,
and they show up and like, where are we going? What are we doing? Who's doing what? I'm not prepared for this, right? And it just damages the possibility of success because you didn't set the onboard up properly.
that's it. And what's crazy is if you look at other elements of life, if you're in college, you go through orientation before you start freshman year to prepare you for the journey
Yeah.
that you're about to start. When you play a board game, you read the rules because if you don't read the rules, chaos will pursue. So part of this is just saying like, why is it business owners, why don't we do a better job to prepare? And what happens to your customer when you don't have a good onboarding system is oftentimes they're not going to look at it and say, you have a bad onboarding system. They're going to say, I must not be smart enough because I'm not getting this, or this is over my head, or someday I'm going to come revisit this because
Right.
it wasn't a simple system to help them just navigate the journey ahead. And this is where you see people start to refund or disappear because they feel that they're not going to be successful because this program just feels way too overcomplicated.
Exactly. Oh, this is so good. This is
Um,
really, really good. Okay.
and then
So, hey,
retention.
quick pause here. If you've ever wondered what your next smartest move should be to grow your business, well, I've built something for you. It's called the Profit Booster Growth Map. It takes only about 2 minutes, it's totally free, and it shows you exactly where you're leaving money on the table and what to fix first. Go grab it for free at profitbooster.biz/growth map. Then come right back to the episode.
And then
So,
retention, I can close the loop there too, just to show
yeah,
you. The third
please.
one, I just want to show you because it actually goes with the same box. We can play off this. But the cool thing about packaging is I could easily create an experience to say this is box one of two or box one of four. And in order to earn box two and three and four of the series, you have to keep playing the game. You have to get to the milestone that unlocks the next piece. And so that's exactly what we did here. And as you can see, um, we have the second box. And the cool thing is even the design, when you start to put it on the bookshelf,
Oh, it
like
looks
I
so
wanted that
pretty.
element that shows, and this is, and you can even see when you do the front of it together too, it even connects. So it's like, how are we leveraging the packaging design to want to create this idea of collection and collecting all the pieces? And on the retention side, what we're looking at is you've completed journey A, it's journey stacking. What's the next journey I should go on? And the other part of retention is awards and recognition. So I just wanted to make sure we close that loop because all of these pieces are very different campaigns, but they can come to
Yeah.
life in a really powerful way that you may only be thinking about onboarding delivery, but are you thinking about retention and are you thinking about acquisition? Because it all paints a story.
No, it's fantastic. And the ahas are just bubbling out of my ears right now because what people have and what I some of my coaching is when we start talking about our offers, right? Um, when you look at your offers, what is the next logical problem that your customer will have that you can fulfill? And that's the 1,000% on the retention level, because if you're not selling them the next logical step, they're already looking and thinking and looking at your competitors for that to happen. And what better way to keep them spending with you than to have that next logical thing or the step before if they're not ready to buy your big thing, right? What's the first step that they can take to come in? And I love the idea that you're just streaming it together in a natural way that is getting really good engagement from your
And
from your customers.
I have to recognize you because that was multi-million dollar advice right there. Like what you just said is I could not agree with it more. And like listen to it and replay it again because Marcia, like I could not everything you just said. And here's the thing, how many business owners are actually leaving money on the table because they're not even communicating the universe of the other things that they could do to serve. And that is something I see again and again that I have conversations with clients of like, we need to be seeding your universe, not waiting to the end of the journey to then pitch the next thing. Because if people know that there's all these things, but they're just at this step of the process, you're planting the seeds that actually will increase lifetime value.
Yes. And the most expensive thing that we spend on, besides our people, is client acquisition. So if
Mm,
you can reduce that cost of client acquisition because you're now keeping them for a longer journey and you're able to get them to rebuy from you over and over again or stay on with you from if you have a service, right? Let's just put it like maybe to the streets, right? If you're an attorney and you've got a service that you think is a one and done, you may have other services that they may need now that that problem has been solved.
yeah.
And I think having even adding, I'm so excited, adding a game to it or adding a physical thing that, like, as an example, you go to the estate attorney and they give you this gigantic binder with all of your estate documents that you never ever look at. You put it up on the shelf and you never review it again. But then you're leaving your legacy on the shelf, but yet you're also leaving an opportunity for the attorney to come back and talk to you again about your next problem.
Yeah.
That's brilliant. I mean, gosh,
Yeah.
I
I
told
love
you
how
bubbles are popping out of my ears.
I know, I love how you think. It's so spot on.
Yeah, this is great. Okay. So now let me throw the big question. There's an elephant in the room right now that I know that the business owners are listening for, and they're going, "Wow, first of all, I don't know what to do. And second of all, this is expensive, right?"
I these are easy questions too. So with like I don't know what to do. Just get on a call with us. The reason I say that is that this is like eating candy for me. And when if I had every
Wait, wait,
client,
wait. Let's put this on here. So tell us a story you told me privately that you didn't tell anybody else. You had a significant weight journey, right?
oh yeah, oh my goodness, and it was gamified too. A perfect example of brilliant. So a big thing I tell clients is have you defined success for your customer? So like when they've achieved success, do they know they've achieved success?
Of course not.
And if you've not defined that metric, then they just get to the end of the program and they're like, okay. Whereas if you have success, that's something tangible. That's a story I want to showcase. And so when I made the transition from my 30s to my 40s, it was actually a really, really hard time in my life. And part of it was that I just dug my head so deep in business that I didn't take care of my body. And I read an article that said the average human in the US lives to 78, which I'm rejecting for me in my life and my story.
Right
Uh,
there. I'm looking, calling out. I'm looking for a vampire.
yeah, I know, right? All of us, right? And so at 39, I was like at the midpoint of life, and it just put things into a different perspective. And so it's one of the few times that I don't do a good, I think this is true for men, but like I don't do a good job asking for help. And I had to ask for help because I could feel my body breaking down. This is literally the end of 2020, December of 2023. so almost 2 years ago, and found, and this is why I'm like, I love entrepreneurs because it is our role as entrepreneurs to hold a bigger vision for our people than they hold for themselves. And so, in that sense, like if we don't hold a bigger vision for our clients and our customers, they're going to be living between, what's between their ears. Like they're going to be so in their head. And
Limited.
really, so that's why you need find a mentor, find a coach, hire Marcia. Like just like these are the things that you need to do because it is the difference for a lot of us that other people hold the keys to your success. So for me, I found someone, he runs a program called Six Pack CEO. And his whole thing was we do the thinking around your health. So you don't have to do it. You just need to follow our rules. And it took me from being in the 220s and almost 40% body fat to now I'm like right at about 160 and about
Wow.
10%, 10 to 11% body fat. So like completely changing identity, shift in everything. But like what in the spirit of saying like has he defined success? He did define success. He's taking men in their 40s to 60s down to a six pack. So the question is, do you have a six pack? Yes or no? And so that was one of the things that I didn't have a goal to have a six pack. I wanted to be healthy as I transitioned into my 40s. And now because of him, my health and my health knowledge, because I thought I knew how to be healthy and I didn't know how to be healthy, has completely transformed. And to have a mentor that like literally gives me my workouts, tells me I can't work out more than 3 days a week. It's an easy system to follow because he's like, we do your thinking and you just focus on your business. And I just follow
Love
the
it.
program. But in that
Love
sense,
it.
like
And congratulations.
beautiful.
That's an amazing accomplishment to be able to achieve. But
Yeah.
I think you probably couldn't have done that unless you had a system to follow. And we all have those systems, right?
100%. And that was it. If there wasn't a system and structure and rules, which don't forget about rules, rules are designed to minimize chaos. So when people like put people through a program, but they don't put the container and define the container, this is where people get to the end and they're like, look what I created. And you're like, or look what I achieved. And you're like, I don't know how you got there from this. But having those elements just allows you to minimize chaos and set the order of how to navigate the experience. Same thing with a board game. Uh,
Love it. Okay, so when we talk about what we could ever do and think about,
yeah.
like, I don't know what to do, it sounds like we're just taking some of our frameworks, right?
It can be. So we always say you start at the end. What is outcome? So you have
Oh,
a promise with your product or service. So we
oh,
always look at the end to say, what is, when I buy what you're offering, what is the promise you make your customer? Because there's something you're selling for them to
absolutely.
pick out and
Something
go.
really solid, tangible, right?
Absolutely. And then I want to look in and say, what does success look like? So we need to define what the success metric is. Then we go back to the beginning and say, now that we know what the ending looks like, how do we start to shape the onboarding process and what does that look like to prepare them? And then we define the journey. And then when we start to do that and we see the different phases, we want to go through each wedge of the phase, each level, each stage, each step to then define what is the overview, what's the outcome, and what is the element that people know that they're ready to advance to the next stage. And so we literally go through and we'll build out if you need a workbook, if you need a journal, action cards, we'll do it all, but we'll guide you through the process. And when we take people through our workshopping process, they'll typically come and spend a day with me in Austin, Texas. We'll do a lot of due diligence because part of my role is to make sure we get smart on your business. If you're investing your money with us, I have a responsibility to do our due diligence on you. So our team has a whole protocol. If you have a book, we'll read it. If you have a course, we'll go through it because that helps us be better to guide and support you through the process. And it's our responsibility when you hire us. And so we take it very seriously because if I don't have clarity on these elements, you can't build a journey, you can't build an experience. It's just a bunch of random stuff thrown together. And I want that beautiful experience for your customers and your clients. So that's kind of how we do it. And the other thing is you don't know what you don't know.
Exactly.
So we know because we are all like my brain is 100% thinking about these boxes and how to bring this customer experience. Like this is what we
Right.
spend our time on. So to show you what is possible unlocks in all, it's my favorite thing because then they start to see their business differently because you realize how much of an enabler. Oh, by the way, this isn't about sending a box when you join. I can also say if you hit this milestone, I'm going to send you something small. That may be where I'll send the swag because you achieved it. It has a different meaning. It's about recognition, not you joined the program. Here's a bunch of stuff that has our branding on it.
Well, so here's something that I took away from this journey, right? Your own journey that I know that many businesses that I talk to struggle with, like seriously struggle with. My onboarding process is the similar way to dig in and figure out, okay, who's their ideal customer, what are their problems, what are their challenges that they're having, what are you delivering, what's the price point? So I go through all of that with them. But the strange thing that I seem to find with almost every one of my clients, except for the rare bird that's out there, they can't articulate it. They can't put it into a story. So by going through some sort of process that you have, that you're going in and deep diving and figuring out what it is, I bet on the flip side of them coming in going, I think I know what I do, and I think I know what the results and process are, to coming out with clarity and purpose and like just bright direction, the yellow brick road, right? They now know. And I don't, and I find that they just really truly don't know it as well as they think they do when they come in.
There's so many things that I could build upon with what you just said. I swear, like the way you think, I love how you think. Um, the
I told you this was going to be fun.
like here's the thing, just to build upon and take things full circle too. We don't start with just jumping into the product for the workshop. Before we do the workshop, we do a strategy session virtually, and the goal of that is to understand your universe. So it's easy to say, I want to build a product for this thing, but without knowing the universe of you and understanding all the pieces, because a good box experience will also tee up the next step or the next element or different elements of your universe. And there's all different ways to do that. But if I don't understand what's your vision of where you're trying to go, what are some of your obstacles? Let me get an understanding of where you are with branding, your team structure, your offer suite that you have right now. Like empty the Lego box. What are we working with?
I
There's been
love it.
times that clients said, I want to build an experience here. And then I hear, oh, your goal is to grow your 25K mastermind and you're trying to build a box of mastermind, but you have this membership that has 2,000 people in it paying you $97 a month. Why don't we focus on getting them the results so they can then, like, these are warm leads.
Elevate into the mastermind, the $25,000 mastermind.
And like here, if they follow the pathway and complete the first program is about getting them their first 100K in an online business. It's a no-brainer that we can engineer a webinar in disguise at some point for those who are at a certain point, but if they get to this phase, they're ready for that next step. So this is the selfishness that I like business owners to think about of when would I want those loops to kind of give us the cues that people are like, oh my gosh, I got a result. And you're like, we have to tell your story. Repurpose it for social proof. Or, oh my gosh, let's get on a call. You may be ready for this next step. Like, let me show you how we can support you further. And all this can be engineered with just intentionality.
Wow. Boom, 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 boom. This is so good. And so many, and this isn't just for coaches and consultants and those kind of people. I can see that it could really, create an experience in any kind of business, right? I mean, gosh, you're a hairstylist and you want them to come back. Maybe you deliver a product package, or here's how you can get that same style I just created with you, right? I mean, there's just so many different ideas that I think could really benefit by having a physical product on top of your service that you offer. Or even flip it around, you deliver a product, let's add a service to it, right? Let's engage, let's flip it the other way around. But I'm just thinking there's so much out there that we leave on the table, and our customers are actively looking for that opportunity, that experience, that closed loop,
Yeah.
that we could be so much more. And then we're never racing to the bottom for being the cheapest, because of our experience, we can be the most expensive and they're still going to pay for it.
And on that, like, I mean, we've built onboarding boxes for lawyers who want to make the whole onboarding process and what they need to do working with their clients as seamless as possible. And we've gamified that as well. We've had clients we have had other lawyers that wanted to say, how do we communicate the trademarking process? Because it could be a 12 to 18-month process.
Yeah,
And
I've been through it.
I bet we all have. And it just goes on.
Right.
We've had software as a service platforms, which what do you care if you have a software platform? It's attrition, it's the trials. How do I get you out of the free trial and to become a client? Well, I can gamify the first 15 or 30 days and send you a box experience that literally just gives you what you need to get you using the system. And if I get you using the system,
You're hooked.
you're hooked. So there's so many different use cases to your point that this is kind of where the sky's the limit. This is where like if you see something out in market, I can't tell you how many times I've taken things that are nostalgic from being a child of the 80s and reimagined them in a business way that people have no idea that like this was, and like feel the essence of why does this feel familiar? Well, it's because it was something you loved to do as a kid. We just reimagined it in a business setting. That was it.
Wow. Okay. So we didn't answer the question. And price point, right? I mean, I can imagine this could be really expensive, but it could also, I think, if you did it correctly and you found the entry points, you could do this less expensive.
Oh,
Right?
totally. Like the sky's the gamut.
Cool.
Like don't worry about like if you know directionally what you're thinking about, get on a call with us. We'll show you what the opportunities are. That's easy
Love it.
for me. Cost wise, if you're saying like we're ready to get started with custom box agency, we have products that run the gamut from fast to market. This is actually what this product is a fast to market to help you plan your box and have it ready in 30 days or less. And that starts as little
That
as
was my next
5K.
question. How long does this process take, right?
Some of it can be fast to market. We have solutions for that. And like for the design and elements of that, it starts as low as 5K. We have other ones that are full project builds that could be 25K. It just depends on what
It
it is.
just depends on what you're looking for, but it sounds to
Complexity,
me
time, but yeah, it's
that this
easy.
is a minuscule investment
Yeah.
in an opportunity to have you really truly step away from the pack and bring customers, raving fans to you rather than you having to go out and chase that customer acquisition cost and trying to get them to come on to you. I think there's a sea of your competition out there, and this is how you stand out. Wow. So good. Mark, days. We can talk days on this,
I
and I'm
know,
super
right? I
excited
know.
if you can't tell, because I think it's a valuable ad that every business owner should be considering in their business. So, how do listeners find out more about you, about Custom Box Agency, how to figure out how they can really start to consider implementing this?
Yeah, no, thank you for asking. I say the easiest place to start is just our website, customboxagency.com. If you ever want to just schedule a free consultation, come hop on a call with me or a member of the team. We have so much fun. You can find me on LinkedIn as well. I think I may be listed as Mark R. Stern just because there's a lot of Mark Sterns out there, or Facebook, but feel free to hit me up and drop me a message. And like 57 Hats is such a great product and it's still free right now. Just pay shipping. Just go to 57 Hats, 57hats.com. But it's such a cool way. And what I want to tell people, if you ever touch one of our products, think about like your application. So as you go through it and see the pieces, like I love when people start to think about, oh my gosh, this is how we can reimagine this part because this is all about buying back your time, taking your genius and scaling you in a way that helps your customers get results faster.
Uh, Really, I well said and to the point. And yeah, I mean, this is definitely a tool that inexpensive investment in something that can turn into really long-term customers, increased pricing, satisfaction ratings, results driven. I mean, we can go on and on and on. The outcomes that can come by adding this one little trigger into your process and your operations. So it's really cool. Wow. Okay, thanks for listening today, listeners. I hope you picked up some valuable ideas and your eyes are sparkling as much as mine are, around this kind of idea and what the possibility could really be for you. And at this time of year, we're in the transition to a new year. What better way to really say, how can I put this in play this year, right? Rather than holding off and going, oh, next year or 3 years from now or tomorrow, right? We can actually do something right now. It's a perfect timing for this kind of planning. So Yeah. Okay, so before we go, if you're ready to bring more of the right clients and keep more of what you earn, go grab your free Profit Booster Growth Map. It pinpoints 3 top moves that will grow revenue and stop profit leaks fast. You can go get that anytime at profitbooster.biz. And don't forget to subscribe. You don't want to miss future shows. You can always catch Profit with a Plan on any of your favorite podcast platforms. We're looking forward to more great profitable strategies on next week's shows. So until then, make your plans and profit with them. Wow, Mark, this was incredible. Thank you so much.
Marcia, thank you. I had a great time. Really appreciate it.